trust me, I'm not the kind of person that wants to immediately jump on a Pokimane hate train the second she does something that the internet considers annoying. I know it's become a very common thing that Pokimane is kind of hated by certain audiences, but that's not really how I feel. I don't care for Pokimane. I don't feel like she's a bad human being. I just think she's a content creator who makes poor decisions sometimes, which is something that comes into play today with the release of her cookies, the Mina cookies. Every content creator and their grandmother's already covered this in a video, but I feel like I can add my own little personal input with my own little small biases because I have type 1 diabetes. So I know a little bit about nutrition information as well as just how to look at snacks and know what's different between them. And that is exactly where this comes into play today, because people were saying that she was copying a different cookie brand. And of course, I want to cover later in the video the way that she responds to the drama, because she responds in the worst possible way that made her look like just an asshole. Like, no one was going to cover this, and then she did her response to the drama, and everyone hates her now. Even Critical came in with a video saying that he doesn't like her, and Critical is like a goddamn teddy bear. He never comes in talking bad about his fellow streamers, but let's dig into it, because this stuff makes me kind of mad. So this all started less than a week ago when Pokimane came out with a tweet saying, "It's finally here, introducing my new company, Mina Snacks. I could never find the perfect healthy snack that tasted good, so I made one for us." Us being, I guess, the people who buy it. Midnight mini cookies are made with real non-GMO ingredients and added vitamin D. Treat yourself at minasnacks.com, and you give it a click and it does this cute little intro animation, which I think is adorable, like I will admit. But you go in, and the main thing she's selling are these midnight cookies. And this is the only thing they're selling right now. This is their only product. And that is kind of the source for where people started to get a little sussed out about it, especially with people saying things like, "Oh, yeah, Pokimane's new product is actually literally a copy of the midnight cookies you can find at Costco." And I was at first kind of doubtful, I would say, because I feel like Pokimane is very easy to hate on with a lot of people, so a lot of people will immediately just come up with some random reason to think that she is the problem. But then I looked a little deeper, and she's not exactly not selling them. She's not exactly beating around the bush here. If you look at this thing here, which this isn't just a take-all, you can't look at this and be like, okay, these are literally the same cookies, although the total fat, cholesterol, sodium, carbs, dietary fiber, sugars, added sugars, and protein, as well as the amount of vitamins, aside from vitamin D, are literally all the same. Now, that's a real good look. That's a real good look for Pokimane straight off the bat, because, what else is in the cookie if it isn't the same thing? And of course, she literally says in the tweet that she releases, plus added vitamin D. Yeah, you added vitamin D to a cookie that already exists, question mark? And this is, of course, where I wanted to do a little bit of extra digging, because unlike Twitter, I don't like to throw around baseless claims about someone without actually looking at the genuine information about all of it. And I didn't really know where to start until I stumbled across a really, really informative thread from a Twitter user named @Leezy. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly, but @Leezy posted a thread essentially digging into all the deepest dives of Mina Cookie, where it's made, and what else is made in the factory with it. And first, stumbled across a creation company called Creation Foods. Creation Foods links to another brand, a cookie that they also create called Tootsies, which Tootsies looks very similar to Pokimane's cookie. Now, that isn't exactly a catch-all. You can't exactly claim that that is the exact same thing until you look at the ingredient list. And while the ingredient lists aren't the exact same thing, they aren't copy-pastes of each other, if you take a minute to look through both of them, which I'm just going to leave this one on the screen, and then leave this one on the screen, you can see they're both almost the exact same thing. The only difference is essentially how specific the ingredients are. One goes into talking about white chips, I assume talking about the white chocolate chips. The other goes into the actual specifics of what the chocolate chips are made of. It's really feeling weird. It's feeling very similar to each other. And if that is the truth, and if it is being made in the same factory and it is the same exact cookie being resold, that would make Pokimane's brand a white label brand. That's not a problem. That's not a bad thing. A white label brand is actually a genuine business tactic some people use, especially content creators, because you can't always afford to buy a goddamn factory. So sometimes you will just relabel things as your own because you're still paying the factory to make it, and then you just put your face on it because there are people who will buy it just because a content creator's face on it. That's why you see Shaquille O'Neal's face on, like, everything, ever. So, because people buy it for some reason. I mean, he is a cute little dude, isn't he? Or big dude. He's a large man. And of course, there are people who've come up to bat for Pokimane to try and defend her in this situation, justifiably, because I feel like every time Pokimane gets into drama online, it's extremely divisive stuff, because it's like a civil war between Pokimane superfans and incels, and it just becomes like this great amalgamation of where Shaquille O'Neal should get involved because he is sponsored by, like, body armor or whatever, like deodorant. They need deodorant. They smell like shit. It's usually that kind of situation. That's not ever how I want to come off at the vibe. I'm not here to attack Pokimane. I'm here coming up to bat to explain a situation and how it should be portrayed. And one of the people who came up to bat for Pokimane, which is kind of unfortunate because I'm usually a fan of this person, is Ostenox. And of course, I'm not going to change my thought of this person just because they have a difference in opinion on a goddamn cookie argument. So I'm still going to be a friend of theirs. But Ostenox came out saying, news outlet Dexerto falsely reports Pokimane is selling an existing cookie product for 3 times the price at $28. The streamer's new Mina cookies are actually $7 a bag, 30% less than the similar cookie that sold at Costco. Now, regardless of the fact that she is most likely reselling a product with a white label, because of course, like, you're a content creator, you can't buy a factory, the math is actually wrong. The numbers, Mason, you gotta look at them. Pokimane ended up getting, not Pokimane, sorry, this account ended up getting community noted, saying, the original tweet shows the second image that Mina Bags is 4 servings of 7 cookies, or $7 per bag. I would do this all myself, but they did some intense math here. Costco has 14 servings of 7 cookies for $9. The Costco bag is $9 for 98 cookies, so 9 cents a cookie. Mina's is 7 for 28, or 25 cents per cookie. So, overall, if you look at the serving sizes, the math doesn't add up. Unfortunately, Pokimane's cookies are more expensive versions of a possibly resold product. And Pokimane came out with an initial response from the Notes app saying that a batch of Mina cookies we're currently shipping were made 3 weeks ago. They're not a drop ship product. We own our formula. The cookies are being compared to were also made by our manufacturer, Creation Foods. So she's coming clean. She's explaining that it is essentially the same factory making 2 different types of cookies. So at the end of the day, it could just be her taking the same exact cookie and just hiking the price a little bit for, I guess, that extra vitamin D. And the other things she puts in this note are essentially just like the main ingredients that she changed were the shape, consistency, and size of the cookie. So I guess she just changed the baking process that goes into creating it, and it probably, at the end of the day, is its own cookie just coming from the same factory made by the exact same manufacturer. So it is just a price hiked version of the same thing. I guess because the baking process might be more difficult, so it might be a more expensive cookie to create. I don't think necessarily that Pokimane's trying to scam her fans out of money. I feel like making that claim is a little goofy because she is already rich, as she makes very apparent very often. And that is actually what leads me into her response she makes on stream about all of this, which is kind of what made me not like this entire situation. I didn't think Pokimane was in the wrong up to this point. I think she was literally just a content creator reselling things. She isn't exactly Mr. Beast who can just create buildings to make his chocolate. But then she said this.
When people are like, oh my god, $28 for cookies? It's 4 bags. That's $7 a bag. I know math is hard when you're an idiot, but like, if you're a broke boy, just say so.
Really? Pokimane? Really? You realize the people purchasing these cookies are your fans, right? It's not like people who aren't your fans are going to go out of their way to go purchase the Pokimane cookie. Like, the people you're trashing on, the people you're calling broke boy, are the people who are most likely your fans, or people who might be fans of you who are a little disappointed that you're reselling product for more expensive prices. It isn't something where your haters are like, I don't want to buy this cookie. They're not going to anyway. That's not what they're here for. I'd buy an Oreo. I prefer the Halloween-themed Oreos. They're goddamn delicious. But, I mean, I'd give her cookies a try if she wasn't so goddamn mean about it. And what sucks is this really just screams insecurity to me. It screams this intense insecurity about not being able to take hate in a situation where the hate is invalid. Like, yeah, when these people were giving you nitpicks about the cookie being similar brands, they don't understand how the process of making a product works, so it doesn't matter. Their input does not matter. But the price wasn't what they were talking about. They were talking about you creating a product that wasn't your own. And even then, that argument doesn't matter. So what you do, you ignore it. You ignore it, or you just keep selling your brand. Mr. Beast, if you go to any Walmart ever and go to find his chocolates, the chocolate bars are shattered all the time. People destroy them because they hate Mr. Beast. But you know what Mr. Beast isn't doing? Going to Walmart and personally beating these children with baseball bats. Because he doesn't care. He's selling the product, it's making money, and the people who that are fans of him, who like him, are buying it. They're going to buy it, and they're going to keep buying it. I buy it, because the chocolate is actually really low in carbs and sugar, and so me, as a diabetic, can eat chocolate without having to dose myself with a goddamn needle. So, overall, like, just be a good person, and your product will sell. And I don't think she really understands that because she's so scared of taking flack. Overall, though, I don't like getting angry. I don't like sitting here and being angry at a camera because a content creator does something stupid. Because let's be honest, they do things stupid all the time. I feel like at the end of the day, a lot of these really popular content creators are just, at their core, insecure. They're insecure, and so when they get called out for something, doing something wrong, they don't know how to handle it, and so they react extremely poorly. But anyways, I've been here for too long. I'm talking too much. Thank you guys for being here. Subscribe if you are new. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I know this is a divisive situation. Pokimane situations always are for some reason. So, of course, I want to hear your thoughts. Thank you guys for being here. I'm going to give you guys the song of the day because just like Pokimane should just be honest, I'm going to give you guys Honest by Baby Keem. It's actually one of the few Baby Keem songs I've listened to and been like, yeah, actually, it's a banger. I like it. So give that a listen. I'm going to add it to the Songs of the Day playlist. And thank you guys for being here. If you've made it this far into the video, I'd like you to comment, I've smelled your lemon-scented candle. No, this is not a brand. I just have this, and it smells kind of nice. I like the citrusy. Nice smell. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Stick around for more. And as always, adios, arrivederci, goodbye, goodbye, good night. And yeah, just accept accountability sometimes. It's not that hard. Be a good person.